At first, I wanted to find out what happened to my friends. Maybe I could still help them. I know I can use it to help my people recover what we've lost. The Keeper wanted me to destroy the fragment I kept. She said our ancestors meant it to be forgotten. But it's a Keeper's place to remember. Even the dangerous things.
Welcome, patrons. It's no secret that Merrill ranks pretty low on characters I like in the Dragon Age series, but that doesn't mean I think she's a bad character. I just don't respect any of her life choices. But so far, I've prioritized characters I love to do videos on, and thanks to a few requests I do one on Merrill, let's talk about the most popular blood mage in the series. Childhood. Merrill was not actually from the Sabri Clan originally. She was born in Navarra to the clan Alarion and was the third mage born in the clan. During the next Arlathvin, which is a meeting that happens every 10 years among the Dalish, Merrill was given to the Sabri clan, who needed the mages. Merrill was only 4 at the time. We don't actually know anything else about her family or the clan she came from, but she then became first to Keeper Merithari, who also became her mother figure in the clan. As the Sabri clan roamed around Ferelden and the Kokari Wilds, much of her childhood was then spent there. We also know that she was close to the Dalish Warden, or at least felt like she was, and Tamlin. And as a quick side note, let's talk about her Valislin. In Dragon Age Origins, her original character model looked like this. At this point in the series, they had yet to say which Valislin went to which elven god. When Dragon Age Inquisition came out, they released a handy guide as to what new Valislin went to what god, and from that we could actually guess at some of the meanings of the older ones as well. In my original guess, the Dragon Age Origins Valislin from my video on that topic, I had put Merrill's original tattoo to be that of Dirthaman. And while I do stand by the original guess, I would like to say that both, what I call Dirthaman and Mythal's Valislin, didn't really fit with their newer counterparts. Looking at them both, at least to me, this one seemed more like a tree, and so Mythal, and this one seemed more like a bird, and so Dirthaman. So then, when we get to her unique Dragon Age 2 Valislin, we can assume that this is either for Dirthaman or Mythal, my guess being Dirthaman. But either way, we don't really know what her new Valislin represents. Dragon Age Origins. You first meet Merrill as a side character in the Dalish origin opening of Dragon Age Origins. After you and Tamlin find the tainted Alluvian and Tamlin disappears, Merrill is tasked to go with the Dalish Warden to try and find your clanmate. If you know anything about Dragon Age 2, this version of Merrill is quite different from her real character. She seems a little bit more bold, even a little brash. She tells the Dalish Warden little about herself, only saying that she knows a little of the old magic, but does know a lot about artifacts. She doesn't fear whatever sickness that the Dalish Warden has, as she believes the Keeper can heal it. The two of you fight Darkspawn on your way to the strange ruins, and there she also is the first to notice how quiet the woods are. You learn that she has tasked the Keeper Merithari to get some piece of the mirror so she can try and fully heal the Warden. But when they actually reach the mirror, Duncan explains that it's tainted, can't be cured, and smashes it instead. So then you make your way back to the Dalish camp, and when the Warden says their final goodbyes before going on their own adventure, Merrill gets a more personal farewell before they go. And that was the last time Merrill sees the Warden. Now, let's also talk about this Alluvian a bit. We all know that in Dragon Age 2, she has an Alluvian. But let's also remember Witch Hunt, where you actually go back to the same Alluvian. Inside the ruins are the Tainted Elves and the Smashed Mirror. The Warden and friends then take a small piece of the mirror for a spell to locate other Alluvians and find Morrigan. The problem, though, is the timeline for all of this. Witch Hunt is set a year after the events of Dragon Age Origins, so as of 932 Dragon, the Alluvian is still in Ferelden. While Merrill doesn't show her Alluvian until Act 2, which is after this time, Merrill is still a blood mage in Act 1, something that she had dabbled in to fix the mirror. So, what gives? Well, to be quite honest, I don't really know. We aren't really sure how Merrill got her Alluvian in full, but here are the options, as I see it at least, in order of what I think the truth is. Option 1. This is all a lore error and we just have to try not to look too hard at it. Whoops! Option 2. Merrill only took a small piece of the mirror, and from this shard, which, side note, she does mention of having a shard, she has handmade the rest of the Alluvian. There are still more shards of this Alluvian sitting in the strange ruins in Ferelden. Option 3. Merrill took a shard to cleanse before coming to Kirkwall, and in between Act 1 and 2, she somehow had the other pieces delivered to her. If there is a missing piece from Witch Hunt, she either doesn't need it, doesn't have it, made a new piece to replace it, or the missing piece was returned. Before Kirkwall. Before we go on about Merrill, I want to give a quick talk about the Sabri Clan. To keep a very long story short, the clan once lived in the Frostback Mountains but were attacked by a local Avar clan. A young keeper Merithari then ordered the clan to move to the lowlands, close to where Witch of the Wild was rumored to be. While it is unknown what happened next, the same Avar clan was then attacked and killed by Sylvans. She will also mention having a debt to Flemeth in Dragon Age 2, and it's likely that she had come to Sundermount to fulfill this debt. What exactly happens to the clan actually depends on if you play a Dalish Warden or not. For example, if your Warden gave land to the Dalish, the clan splits in two, one half that stays in the new land and the other goes to Kirkwall. I'm not going to talk too much about this as I detail it more in the video I made on the Warden, but no matter what, Merrill leaves for Eldon. Her and at least part of her clan booked passage on the ship Pride of Amaranthine and made their way to Sundermount. Merrill will tell Isabella that this made her very seasick. But once at Sundermount, something happened and killed all of the clan's Hala, stranding them at the base of the mountain. Now, I have never actually found any explanation on what happened to the Hala, so your guess is as good as mine. If there is some piece of lore out there that says something, please tell me, because I want to know. During this time, Merrill would ask Merithari for help to clean the Alluvian, as she found it an important piece of Dalish history and that it could help her people if they found a way to fix it. But Merithari refused. During their time in Sundermount, both Merrill and the Keeper then started to have dreams of something calling out to them and feelings of deep isolation. This would be the demon Audacity. The Keeper would then bring Merrill to the top of Sundermount to investigate. Audacity told them that it knew of the ancient elves and offered to share its information for its release. It dawned on Merrill that this demon had knowledge of the Alluvian, so Merrill made a deal with it, trading the secret of the mirror and how to cleanse it to complete the mirror. From this demon, Merrill learns blood magic. Keeper Merithari would soon find out about this and warned both her and her entire clan that she was a blood mage. So, receiving scorn from both her mentor and her entire clan, Merrill decided to leave. Dragon Age 2. In Act 1, Hawke then comes with an amulet to revive Flemeth, and this is where we first meet Merrill. She's a bit shy and awkward, but is stubborn in her beliefs. Together you take your amulet, find out she's a blood mage, summon Flemeth, and then, as requested by the Keeper, take Merrill to live in Kirkwall. Merrill has a hard time adjusting to her life in Kirkwall. Her neighbors ignore her, some even going so far as to avoid her. Merrill also has a lot of trouble finding her way around Kirkwall. She ends up getting so badly lost that she found herself somehow in the Viscount's bathroom, a cupboard in the chantry, and in the middle of a dog racing track. Varric would eventually loan her a ball of twine so that she can lay it on the ground as she walks so she doesn't get lost. And 3 years later, after finally finding her way around, she tries to give that same ball of twine back to Varric, which he tells her just to keep. As you get to know Merrill, one thing that is constant is that she is always kind. While she is awkward and clumsy and doesn't make the best choices, she does love and believe in her friends and will do anything for them. Merrill is one of the few companions that will actually verbally express her feelings so openly to Hawke and the others. In Act 2, the relationship between Hawke and Merrill has progressed enough, she introduces them to the Alluvian she is fixing and asks them for help. She also confides in Hawke that she's been seeing Tamlin in the corner of her eye, or if you had a Dalish Warden, she's mentioned seeing Mahariel. And so she wants to fix the mirror. She believes she needs a special tool that the clan has called the Arulin Home, and Hawke can help support her in gathering it. Merithari agrees to let Merrill use it if she does a favor for the clan. In this case, killing a nearby Varterel that has killed a few other hunters. When Hawke and Merrill go to do so, you find one hunter still alive, Paul. Paul is relieved to find Hawke, but is so scared of Merrill, he runs back to the Varterel and is killed. Merrill is distraught that her clanmates would rather be with a monster than with her. Back in the clan, Merithari explains that she had told the clan what she has been doing, and that because of her work with the Alluvian, she may be tainted with the blight and bring it back to the clan. She then breaks her promise and gives Hawke the tool, and it is up to them if Merrill gets to use it or not. This is also the point in the game where Hawke can choose to romance Merrill. The content of the romance also varies slightly if Merrill is friended or rivaled. After completing her quest in Act 2, she comes to Hawke's home to talk. Merrill will tell Hawke that she is unsure if she should continue her romance. As Hawke is human, she sort of feels the need to preserve the elven way of life. She then tells Hawk if they were Dalish, surely their people would be in a better place. And if Hawk is female, Merrill will then wish that she was as perfect, clever, and as beautiful as she is. If rival, this conversation takes on a more argumentative tone, and she adds in that while she understands that Hawk is trying to keep her from harm, that she can take care of herself. Either way, if the player chooses to romance her, she spends the night, blurts out that she loves them, and Hawk invites her to move in, no matter what the others say. Merrill also gets along with most of your companions in Dragon Age 2. She is obviously closest with Isabella, who calls her Kitten. If Hawk is in a romance with Merrill and is female, Isabella is glad for Merrill and asks if her feelings are really sincere. If male, Isabella will threaten Hawk to not hurt her. Varric also takes care of Merrill, giving her the nickname of Daisy. He makes sure that she is safe, even going so far as to pay off people to protect her from being mugged. If Carver is alive, it's also hinted that he has a small crush on her, although nothing actually comes of it. But both Fenris and Anders don't get along with Merrill, which seems to be the one thing those two characters have ever agreed on ever. Both find her use of blood magic appalling, with Anders going so far as to say that if she's not careful, she will end up like him. At the start of Act 3 of the game, Merrill becomes so focused on her Eluvian that she rarely leaves her home, leaving only to buy food, which she does so rarely that Varric has produce delivered to her door. If romance, while she has moved in with Hawk, she still goes to visit her home in the alienage, spending a great amount of time there on her Eluvian. When finally confronted about all of this, Merrill explains that she is frustrated with it, as she seems to have fixed it, but it still just doesn't work. So it seems she must go and ask the demon for help, and so she asks Hawk to come with her, just in case something bad happens and she gets possessed. When Hawk and Merrill get to the lair of the demon, Merrill realizes that it's no longer there. Keeper Marithari then steps in, saying that she wanted to save Merrill from her bad choices, as when she finished the Eluvian, it would have been freed and killed her. So, to save Merrill, she made herself a prison for the demon, and to kill it, they need to kill her. After it is done, Merrill and Hawk are met with the rest of the Sabri clan outside of the cave, and from here it's up to Hawk what happens next. If you take responsibility for Merrill's actions and vow to never let her hurt anyone again, the clan lets you leave. If not, the clan will attack you and you must kill the clan to survive. When Hawk is back in Merrill's home, what happens next depends on if you friended or rivaled her. If friended, Merrill is absolutely crushed about what happened. All she wanted to do was help, and the Keeper and her clan never listened to her, and it got the Keeper killed. All the sacrifices she took was for nothing, as they either disowned her or were killed. So, completely lost with herself, she then asks Hawk what she should do next. To be honest, the answer you give doesn't really matter, as no matter what, she chooses to help the city elves. If rival, the conversation is pretty similar, except Merrill is angry about it all and decides to destroy the Eluvian, saying that she should have done this years ago and that Hawk was right. During the last mission of the game, Merrill will default to the side of the mages if her friendship or rivalry isn't high enough. If it isn't and Hawk sides the Templars, it's possible that she can be killed by Hawk when the Templars storm the circle. It's also possible to kill her even in a romance if you side with the Templars and decide to kill all the mages. But if her friendship or rivalry is high enough, she will side with Hawk no matter what you choose. And in the end, just like Hawk's other companions, situations will take Merrill away from her friend. Except if romance, where she does end up staying with Hawk. After Kirkwall. There isn't much said of what becomes of Merrill after the events of Dragon Age 2 if she is still alive. In World of Thetis Volume 2, there is a Chantry investigation into all of Hawk's companions. They look into Merrill hearing rumors that she was a blood mage. But by all accounts of those who knew Merrill, all claim that there was absolutely no way that she could be a blood mage. Not Merrill, she's too sweet. The Chantry account of Merrill also claims that no one has actually seen her after the champion of Kirkwall disappeared. If the Inquisitor asks about her in Dragon Age Inquisition and she's alive, Varric will state that she stayed in Kirkwall to help the city elves in the Kirkwall alienage after the city turned to chaos, and that she's protecting them from both the mages and the Templars. If romance, Hawk will also mention that they didn't want to take Merrill away from the work that she is doing, which is why she's not in Skyhold. If Hawk survives the fate and heads to Weishaupt Fortress, Varric will mention that Merrill needs to be told of what happened, and will likely be joining her lover in Weishaupt, whether Hawk wishes it or not. But after all that, we aren't quite sure where she is, what she is doing, and most of all, what happened to her Eluvian. Except that you can find her Eluvian in a lot of places in Dragon Age Inquisition. For most places, you only find the empty frames sitting around places like the Strange Blood Mage Room in the Descent and treasure rooms in the Winter Palace. But the most notable one is fully intact and subtly shown when Morrigan takes you to the Crossroads. I can't really say much on what it's doing there or what it is, but I can debunk a rumor that this only shows up in world states where Merrill's mirror is not destroyed. No matter what you or Merrill does, this is going to be in the background. And that, dear patrons, is all that we know of Merrill. Do you still have lingering questions, proof that I'm wrong, comments about your own fan theory? Feel free to tweet me at @Gildathon on Twitter or send a PM to user Gillinan on Reddit. The rest are all.